All right, welcome to Pack Talk Podcast, episode 120. Today we're talking about what most dog owners get wrong in their training. And if I had to think and pick out one or two of the most common things that most people that I've seen or talked to via the interwebs or via virtual consulting or on the phone,
right,
or observations from the socials.
Comments.
Yeah. Well, also, if you just like watch dog social media,
Yeah.
you see what people are doing.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick out one or two things that most people are doing wrong, I would say the first thing is most people are rewarding too much. They struggle to tone down their rewards and maintain behavior. The second thing would be not rewarding at all. So it's like two sides to the coin. You got people that reward too much, or maybe they have good intention of building behavior, maintaining behavior. They just struggle to reduce their rewards, which is what we call fading in training. Or you've got the other camp where people are not rewarding at all. And when I say not rewarding at all, maybe they're just heavy on corrections. Maybe they went through some kind of correction style training and that's all they do. No rewards are involved. Or maybe they're just not consciously thinking about they need to reward their dog. They're just kind of living life with their dog. You know, maybe they have some problems, but they don't know how to resolve them. They're not rewarding at all. Kind of the two sections of the not rewarding at all camp. So real quick, I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible, but I'm going to have to get a little sciencey.
Oh, yeah.
So we know that rewarding your dog is reinforcing behavior. It's not reinforcing the dog itself. It's reinforcing the specific behavior that the dog is doing. All right? So, I mean, these things can happen in a split second. In 1 second, you can have one behavior. Another second, you can have another behavior, the behavior that you want. Now you have to be able to effectively reward that, which is going to reinforce that behavior. And what reinforcement means is that whatever you're reinforcing, whatever you're rewarding, that specific behavior is more likely to occur again in the future. So it's not going to be 100% locked in. It's just increasing the probability of that behavior happening again in the future. All right? And we know that dogs are living, breathing beings just like us humans. So we're not going to be perfect in all of our behaviors, but we reinforce behaviors to make those behaviors more likely to occur again in the future. And on the other side, what we'll talk about here in a little bit, but we can also correct behaviors. To put it simply, we can correct behaviors to make behaviors that we're correcting less likely to occur in the future. So we reinforce to make or reward, make things more likely, correct to make things less likely. Now, again, we're not rewarding the dog. We're not correcting the dog. We're rewarding or correcting the behavior that the dog is performing at that time. Put it simply, okay? We also have to understand that dogs can reward themselves. This is called self-reinforcing behaviors. So
give me an example of this.
Yeah, so you got your dog, it's in the backyard, it's hanging out.
Yeah.
Starts digging a hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it feels good to the dog.
Oh, yeah.
To dig. It's getting some endorphins released in its brain from that. Because when you're digging, like if you're a dog, just think about it. You're a wiener dog. All right, little scenario.
Yeah. Well, we know the wiener dogs like to burrow.
Well, first of all, close your eyes. Think about this.
Close your eyes.
I want you to imagine that you are a wiener dog. All right, a nice wiener dog.
Oh, yeah. Long hair, short hair?
Pick your choice.
Yeah.
Long hair or short hair.
Yeah.
You're in your backyard. You're hanging out. You got your sniffer going. Your sniffer's going, and you smell something in the ground. And because you're a dog, these senses are heightened. You have more intense olfactory system, which means you can smell things better. Your ears, your hearing, better, especially if they're floppy.
Oh, yeah.
Like a wiener dog. You know why? Because it's whiffing up that smell, right? It's whiffing up those scents, right? So you're a wiener dog. Close your eyes. You're a wiener dog, long-haired or short-haired. You're in the backyard. You smell something in the ground underneath you, and you want to investigate. You start digging, and you're digging, and you're digging, and as you're digging, you're stirring up more scent, more smell, and it feels good to dig. You're enjoying this digging, and then you get down there, and it's a mole.
Oh, jackpot, baby. Jackpot.
It's a mole, and you grab it, and you thrash it. Yep. And you satisfy your instinct as a predator.
Yeah.
And then you move on.
Yeah.
So you just reinforced yourself.
So now I'm thinking the more I dig, the more moles I'm going to find.
Right.
Or
And
who knows what I'm going to find.
That climax.
Yeah.
You're a wiener dog, and that climax of getting that mole and thrashing it, that feels good to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
When you reach that climax. So you're going to do it again, right?
Yeah.
So the next time you're out in your yard, you're sniffing, you're smelling, you're hanging out, and you smell a similar or same scent that you remember was the scent of that mole.
Yeah.
You start digging, you're feeling good, but this time there's no mole. But it still felt good to dig.
Yeah.
You just didn't get that climax at the end. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is an example of self-reinforcing behavior. You're reinforcing yourself. Or let's say you're a Great Dane in your house, hanging out. You go over to the trash can.
Oh, jackpot, baby.
You smell something. You
Yeah.
lift up the lid with your nose,
Yeah.
and there's a fresh pile of someone had cleaned off their plate into the trash can, ground beef,
Yeah.
and it's sitting right there with taco seasoning on it.
Whoa.
So you know what's going to happen. Right?
Yeah, I'm eating that.
Yeah, you're eating it.
Yeah.
Boom. You destroy it. You just gobble it all down.
Yeah.
You've now eaten out the trash can. You figure out that this trash can, right, has good things in it.
Yeah.
And you're reinforcing yourself. No one's doing that for you. No humans doing that to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, another example. You're a mutt. You're hanging out. Let's just say you're a pug, French bulldog mix.
Oh, yeah.
You're a mutt.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Pug French bulldog mix.
Yeah.
And your couch just happens to be up against the front door, or not the front door, but the front window. And you like sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
You're looking out the window, and there's someone running by. You start barking at them, and they run off. Right? They don't even know you're there.
Yeah.
Right? But you're barking. It feels good to bark. It triggers chemicals released in your brain. The person runs away like, hell yeah, I made that person run away. Right? So then that's self-reinforcing. It feels good to you to do that.
Yeah.
So these are just some examples, but these behaviors can escalate over time. But what I'm trying to get to is self-reinforcing behaviors are happening at all times. They're happening all the time.
Yeah.
So you have to be conscious of that as a dog owner. If you're trying to reach a specific goal with your dog, you might have to implement some management in order to control some of these self-reinforcement behaviors until you reach your goal. Then you can allow some again. Some you won't. Maybe you don't like your dog digging in the yard, but you don't mind it digging when you're on a hiking trail. So context is going to play a key there. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So self-reinforcing behaviors are at play. They're happening a lot of times with our dogs. And then we have corrections, which we'll talk more about later. But, corrections are basically going to help us reduce the likelihood of behavior happening. So let's say I've got, and I don't believe in doing corrections before you've taught your dog what your expectation is. So I'm talking under the assumption that when you're giving a correction, you've already taught your dog everything they need to know in this specific case. But corrections, you would use those to reduce the likelihood of behavior happening again.
Right.
So if I have a dog that's digging in the yard, I take them out in the yard, I see them start digging, I correct that behavior, my dog stops digging, I have now successfully reduced the likelihood of that digging occurring again.
But not rewarding. Would you reward after that correction?
You can reward after, which we'll talk about, but
Yeah.
In this case, you got a dog digging in the yard. You correct them. They stop digging. Now the digging is less likely to occur again in the future. You might be battling with the strength of the self-reinforcing behavior. So if you have that wiener dog that has literally hit climax with those moles, killing those moles, thrashing them, that's a strong reinforcement versus your correction, which may not equal that in the dog's brain. So, you're going to have to watch your dog. They go out in the yard. They start digging. The next time they're out in the yard, you have to correct that consistently and effectively in order to overcome the reinforcement that was achieved by the mole killing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So ideally, when we start out our training, we're going to very frequently reward a dog's desired behavior. So whatever I want my dog to be doing, I'm going to very frequently reward what I want them to be doing. We call this a high rate of reinforcement, which is just the amount of time between rewards. And so we start off doing that. We're teaching our dog. Let's say, for example, we want to teach our dog to come on command.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
We start practicing this. We start luring our dog coming to us. We're rewarding every single time they do that. This is called high rate of reinforcement, where we're very quickly doing this. Okay? It also kind of bleeds into our discussion of what are reinforcement schedules. So if I'm rewarding every single repetition of my dog coming to me, that's going to be called a continuous reinforcement schedule. Will I reward them for every single repetition of the desired behavior? All right. Now, as time goes on, we have to increase our criteria for the reward, and then we adjust how often we reward a dog for that desired behavior. So I can't just reward my dog at a high rate of reinforcement for every single repetition for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Because if I do that, then basically if that reward is not present, the dog won't do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is where we talk about reinforcement schedules. We have 3 reinforcement schedules. Number 1, continuous. Number 2, interval. Number 3, random. So the continuous reinforcement schedule, like I said, means we reward every single repetition of a desired behavior that our dog is doing. So for the come command, for example, I get my dog to come to me, good reward. My dog comes to me, good reward. My dog comes to me, good reward. Every single repetition. This is how we start building behavior. We reward every repetition until our dog shows us that that behavior, that muscle memory that they're developing for that specific behavior set is solidified, where there's no problems.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now here's where we start to increase our criteria. Again, we're talking about a come command in this example. My dog shows me that this is easy. My dog shows me that there's no confusion with the come command. Now it's time to increase my criteria. And one of the ways I'm going to do that is by changing my reinforcement schedule from continuous every single repetition to interval, which you're going to pick your interval, but every 2 repetitions, every 3 repetitions.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you start to pattern out your rewards so that your behavior is getting maintained. You're not rewarding as often. So in my come command example, I say come, my dog's coming over to me. We've done this a bunch of times under continuous rewarding, continuous reinforcement. So now it's time to interval it out. So maybe every other repetition. I say come, my dog comes over to me. I say good, no reward is given. And I should probably bring up at this point, you can reward your dog by petting them. You can reward your dog by giving them food, giving them a toy, whatever.
Keep it mixed up.
Right. So if you're rewarding your dog for coming to you with food, and then you start going to the interval reward schedule, that doesn't mean you pet them one time they get to you, you give them food the next time they get to you. It means you don't reward at all, which means they get to you, you just say good. That lets them know, like, hey, you did the right thing, and then you move on.
Yeah.
So interval, every 2 repetitions, every 3 repetitions, you're slowly going to interval that out. And once your dog can maintain that on an interval schedule where they're continuing to do the behavior, now you increase again to that random reinforcement, which means they never know when it's coming. They're literally playing the lottery. It could be every 3 repetitions. It could be every 5 repetitions. It could be whatever. You are picking the random reinforcement.
Yeah.
So you say come, your dog comes. You say good. Maybe you pet them. Maybe you give them a piece of food. Maybe you give them a toy. It just is up to you.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where we want to be at that random reinforcement schedule. That's where we want to be when we're ending the establishment of our behaviors that we want. And then we're going to maintain our behaviors on a random reinforcement schedule long term. So that is what most dog owners struggle with. They got no problem rewarding continuously at first, every repetition. But as we increase criteria and decrease the amount of rewards we're using, this is where they struggle. This is what we got to know, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, too, they reinforce their dog for a variety of things, whether they mean to or not. So you think about the person just hanging out in their house and, their dog comes up to them and, just kind of nudges them with their nose or something, and they pet the dog.
Yeah.
Now the dog's getting rewarded,
Yeah.
reinforced for sticking their nose in your armpit or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if the person wants that, that's fine. But if it's something that they think is annoying, they didn't even realize what they were doing. Now the dog's reinforced.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking about is like we've watched one of these videos in our Trainer React series, but like if a dog the direct instance, what I'm thinking about is there's a big Mastiff and they had the puppy and they were introducing the dogs together.
Right.
The Mastiff is like not sure what to think about the puppy. The family's like surrounding the dog, petting him hardcore.
Yeah.
And good boy, just for like being weird with the dog.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so you're
their
reinforcing.
instinct, like they don't even know that they're reinforcing the behavior by petting him.
Right.
Good boy,
Right.
Like the dog doesn't understand, or it's being reinforced.
That's a good example of something that could work against you.
Yeah.
You're subconsciously, you don't even know what you're doing, which is why we have to talk about this, because we have to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we're petting our dog for being insecure, dominant, weird with another dog.
Yeah.
So we're petting our dog, and our dog is now getting reinforced
Yeah.
for what they're doing, which means the behavior they're performing is going to escalate. And a lot of people do the same thing. They're petting their dog in those situations where they feel anxious, the dog or the human.
Yeah.
Let's say the
normally
dog,
it's the human.
Right. Let's say the dog is, on the street. They're reacting to another dog or a person. And, the owner gets down and they start petting them. It's okay. It's okay. They're petting them because the owner is anxious. They decide to pet the dog. The owner is anxious about their dog's behavior. They decide to pet the dog, inadvertently reinforcing the behavior, which means the next time they see a dog on the street, the dog's reaction is going to be the same or start escalating, because now we're making the behavior more likely to occur in the future, more probable to occur in the future by reinforcing it, which means those reactions to other dogs or people get stronger and stronger and stronger over time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a trick, right?
Yeah.
We don't really know as an owner what we're doing unless we're paying attention, unless we have the knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
To
it
pay
is
attention.
some people just don't know.
Right, they don't know.
They don't have the awareness.
Right, they don't know. So we want to be mindful. We want to adjust our reinforcement schedules, be aware of our dog's ability to self-reinforce itself. Now, your dog self-reinforcing itself is also a subconscious action on your dog's part. Your dog doesn't know, like if it's the wiener dog digging and it finds a mole, your dog doesn't know that it's reinforcing the behavior, but the behavior feels good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you have a dog that you're finding is self-reinforcing itself, it's working against your goals, this is when you may need to implement more management with your dog to prevent unwanted self-reinforcement while you are trying to build up the behaviors that you want your dog to perform. So how are some ways you could manage your dog? You could use a kennel. You could use a leash. You could supervise your dog. These types of things.
Spot command.
Spot command.
Yeah.
Yep. Once you teach that.
Yeah.
You got to
You
reinforce
got to teach it. You got to teach it.
You got to reinforce it, right? Continuous interval random.
Yeah.
And then once it's solidified, you can use it as a management tool for sure. But management's going to look different for everybody. But I would say most people starting out, kennel, leash, that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Supervision of your dog, good starting point.
Yeah.
Because if you're not supervising your dog and your dog goes into your room and choose out your underwear, you know what I'm saying? Or your socks, or your shoe, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to keep happening. You didn't supervise your dog. Maybe in that case, you just close your closet door as a management tool. You don't let your dog go in there, right? So just some things to think about. If you're listening to this and, you know, this is kind of clicking with you and you're seeing some things with your own dog, you know, take action today and implement a little bit of management while you build up what you want. So I just want to give like a very condensed version of how you would build up behavior, whatever that behavior is with your dog, how you would ideally build it up. Now, every dog's going to be different. There might be some little quirks to your dog that you might need, you know, some expertise to help you work through a quirk. But ideally, the first thing we would do, manage your dog to prevent self-reinforcement of unwanted behavior. So, trying to think of a good example. We got a dog that eats socks, and I want to teach my dog to not eat the socks.
Yeah.
Right? First, I got to manage the dog, which means that the dog has to earn my trust. So I might be using a kennel. If it was me, I'd be using a kennel. I'd be using a leash, and I'd be supervising the dog, not allowing them to get to the socks to practice that behavior, right? Then I'm going to build a behavior that I want by reinforcing and rewarding the behavior that I do want. So let's say the sock example, I start teaching my dog alternate behaviors versus going for the socks. Let me teach you an alternate behavior. And let's just take the spot, for example. We could teach our dog to go. Our dog's, you know, hanging out in the house. It decides, I want to go eat a sock.
Yeah. Or it's bored walking around.
Or it's bored.
That's generally how it starts.
Right. It's
at least
bored.
in my house.
It's bored, and it's like, I'm going to go check out the socks.
Yeah. Let's hit the sock department.
Let's hit the socks, right?
Yeah.
I want to teach an alternate behavior. So what I would do at first is reward the dog for what I want them doing. That could be, let's say the socks are in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
I got my dresser or my sock drawer in the closet.
Yeah.
Maybe I make that closet door a boundary. You don't go in there.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I do that? I reward my dog for being outside of the closet door by petting or food reward.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I say good, give him a little pet. Say good, give him a piece of food, whatever. Now, for me personally, I'd have like a short leash on my dog. I'd cut the handle off, short leash, let my dog walk around the house with that. If it goes into the closet when I'm supervising it, I can say no. I can walk over, I can grab the leash, and I can walk it outside the closet. And once it crosses that threshold, I can say good, I can reward it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now I'm doing repetitions of building this behavior of what I want. First being the boundary of don't go in the closet, because there's things in the closet that tempt you, right?
Yeah.
The second thing would be, let me teach you an alternate behavior. And let's say that's going to be walk over to your doggy bed and hang out on your doggy bed where you have your chew thing on it. Maybe it's a go nut.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Kong.
Yeah.
Some kind of toy or whatever. So I'm just going to like walk them over to the bed, reward them for going to their bed. Good, reward. I'm going to do this repetitiously, continuously, right? Every single repetition, I'm rewarding them for doing what I want, right? The desired behavior that I have from them. So as my dog, the third thing here is, as your dog begins to master the behavior, increase your criteria for rewards and change your reinforcement schedule. So once I'm doing this with my dog, you'll start to notice your dog's doing this more easily.
Yeah.
Because at first when you're starting this, you might have to pull your dog out of the closet with your leash. You might have to walk your dog over to the dog bed. Maybe your dog's pulling one way. It's like confused about what you're doing. Excuse me. And so now you're noticing this is getting easier. My dog's just not even going in the closet. It's making the decision, not stepping in there. Good. Now I reward on an interval, every couple repetitions, every other repetition. Then my dog knows, hey, if I feel like I need to go to the closet, I'm just going to walk over to my dog bed. So now I'm going to interval the dog bed behavior, right? As time goes on, this gets easier and easier. My dog's being easier. Intervals are easier. Now I move to that random reinforcement schedule where I randomly reward them, and it's becoming a solidified habit with my dog.
Yeah.
But there are going to be times when my dog's tempted. There are going to be times when my dog pushes the boundary, even if I've done all of my reinforcement schedules properly, my management properly, there's still going to be temptation.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens?
Socks are good.
And again, it's subconscious temptation. It's not like your dog is like consciously thinking,
F you.
Right? I'm going to go. Well, some dogs might do that. Some dogs, I've seen dogs that will.
Yeah.
They're watching you. And they're like, oh, they're not paying attention. Boom, let me go for the socks.
Holy shit.
Right? I've seen that.
Holy shit.
So whether it's the dog that literally is conscious or most dogs, which is subconscious, they're not thinking about it. They're just, following their nose, and their nose leads them to
the socks, in the
right?
closet. Yep.
So now is when we implement corrections. So I start off, I catch my dog in the closet. No, walk over there, grab the leash. No, tug on the leash. Now I put my dog on their doggy bed.
And when this is happening, you're calm demeanor, not screaming at your dog.
Yeah, good point. You're not yelling.
Cranking on that leash.
You're not screaming. You're not overcorrecting.
Yeah.
You're fairly correcting.
Yeah.
But effectively, right? And then you're giving them the alternate behavior.
Yeah.
Now, me specifically, I would be doing remote collar conditioning with my dog, so I don't always have to have that leash on. That way I can communicate with my invisible leash, the remote collar. So I'd be using that for my corrections as time goes on. And now I just maintain the behavior long term with my random reinforcement schedule of doing the right thing, making the right decisions, and my corrections for doing the wrong thing. Again, my corrections make a behavior less likely to occur in the future. So in this situation, my dog breaking the boundary of the closet going into there, they've broken that boundary. I correct them. They come back out. I have made the behavior of entering my closet less likely, less probable to occur again in the future.
Yeah.
But, it's a dog. It's a living, breathing being. It can happen again, right? Then my reinforcement of my dog maintaining the boundary and going over and choosing to go to their dog bed and get their own items, those behaviors are more probable, more likely to occur in the future because I reinforce those behaviors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the one side of the coin where people are rewarding too much. Hey, we need to increase our criteria for reward. We need to make sure we really understand big picture what's going on and how we can do this, right?
Yeah.
On the other side of the coin, we have the dog owners who don't reinforce at all. Maybe they're heavy on corrections. Maybe their dog is self-reinforcing itself often and working against the owners, and the owners just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in this case, I recommend, let's say you got someone who's no rewards, corrections only. Or it's someone that has no idea about rewards. They're trying to figure this out. They're trying to figure out how to get their dog to do what they want it to do. We need to start establishing reinforcement schedule. So if you've been doing this, I would say, hey, you're going to start with a slow introduction of rewards with a random reinforcement schedule. So if you're someone who's been correcting your dog a lot, tone down your corrections. Start implementing random reward for the dog doing what you want.
Yeah.
If you're the type of person, no idea about rewards, maybe you don't really want to spend the time doing rewards, but there's a couple things with your dog you want it to improve on, start random reinforcement. Once you and the purpose of this is just to get you, the dog owner, used to the idea of I need to reward or reinforce things that I want from my dog. You also need to manage things you don't want from your dog. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why you're going to start with at least the random reinforcement schedule. And then the other thing I would say, hey, a lot of times basic eye contact drills, if you do those once a day, twice a day, those are going to start establishing just good overall behavior with the dog and getting them looking at you more than getting distracted by different things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do some basic eye contact drills, you might find that even if you're hanging out in your house, your dog's coming over to pay attention to you more versus going to look for the socks.
They'll start following you around the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendations for people that are like, hey, I'm not all in on these rewards. I have a history or a background of lots of corrections, or maybe I'm just like, I don't know much. I don't want to do too much, but I want to work on a few things.
Yeah.
This is a good little baby step into the world of reinforcement, management, and then you can still implement some correction. But your corrections do need to be fair. So if you've been doing a lot of corrections, heavy corrections, you need to evaluate yourself and consciously reduce the severity of your corrections.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people out there, old school, you know, they take the dog's face, they shove it, you know, like let's say the dog that eats the socks. They take the face and they shove it in. You don't eat this.
Yeah.
The sock drawer.
Yeah.
Or you got people hitting dogs, slapping dogs. Not good.
Yeah.
Right? Or you got the old school trainers. Maybe you went through training with somebody who said, never reward your dog, only correct, right? Leash, remote collar, whatever. Tone that down, right? Become more balanced with how you're operating. And then, again, management techniques. These are going to help you prevent the performance and repetition of undesired behavior that's working against you. So, again, if you're just taking this baby step into it, you know, use a kennel, use a leash, you know, put up some boundaries, something like that, whatever's going to be working for you to help you manage your dog.
Yeah.
And you should see your dog turn around and start, you know, paying attention to you more and not doing things you don't want it to be doing. But again, they're dogs, so they are going to be doing that. And if they've been practicing certain things for a long period of time, that can obviously work against you too, because you have a strong reinforcement of certain behaviors that now you have to kind of unwind a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's say you're the kind of person too that you've been a heavy corrector, or you've just not really gotten into anything, and there's a few things you want to work on, and you start a little bit of eye contact, you start a little bit of management, you start a little bit of random reinforcement, and let's say you find that your dog is confused by something.
Yeah.
Your dog's confused, because at this point too, you should be looking at things from your dog's perspective. You know, especially if you're like if you have a heavy correction background, you're not good at looking at things from your dog's perspective.
Yeah.
You're trying to force your dog to do things that you want it to do, and you're being lazy by not teaching your dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now that I'm at this point where I'm like, oh, I've been doing things wrong. I need to reinforce my dog so that they know what to do. Start off with my random reinforcement, start my eye contact drills. Maybe my dog seems confused. That's when you actually need to take the time to teach your dog what you want them to do. And that means you're going to have to go through the reinforcement schedules like we talked about a little bit ago. Continuous, interval, random. Build up your behaviors so that your dog does not have confusion. Make sure your dog's not confused about what your expectations are or what the desired behavior that you have for them is. And then get back to fair corrections. Okay, get away from your heavy hand. Get back to fair corrections for disobedience. And yes, you might be listening to this and this sounds like some work. And it is.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. The process is going to take time depending on your dog, depending on you. And like I said earlier, you might need some expert advice from a professional dog trainer who can evaluate your dog and provide proper coaching and guidance on what you need to do. But then it's your job to do that, or it's your job to maintain that. And hopefully the trainer you decide to work with is going to continue to support you and help you achieve where you need to be.
Yeah.
So that's my quick and easy answer to what are most dog owners getting wrong? What do most dog owners need to be aware of? And if you really sit back and think, really put yourself in your dog's perspective, you can probably see some things that are happening throughout your day that your dog's reinforcing themselves on.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hardest things to do is identify what is my dog reinforcing themselves on, and how do you manage that, you know?
Yeah. I think the big thing, especially towards the end, what you were saying is like even if you're not heavy on corrections, if you take a step back and look from your dog's perspective to see how they're learning and see how they're trying to, and what you're trying to teach them, like it's more rewarding to see your dog start to pick up on these things. Like let's say the first 2 or 3 days your dog doesn't really, like you're showing it what to do, it's not really picking up on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then once like day 4 hits,
Right.
you know, you start working with your dog just starts snapping into it, or
Right.
they're picking up the concepts easier. Like that's more rewarding even for you as an owner, because you're like, my dog is starting to understand what I'm trying to teach it. You know, like that's the payoff.
Yeah.
Rather than shoving your dog's head down or cranking on that leash. You know, it's like,
Well, it's easy to get frustrated with a dog.
Yeah, definitely.
You want one thing.
Yeah.
Your dog is conditioned to do other things.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have patience for sure.
Right.
Like, even if you're getting super frustrated
Right.
for those first 2 days and your dog's not picking it up, you're just like, why aren't you picking it up? You know, I'm showing you, you know, you think
That's
you're
what you
showing
think.
it easily.
Right. That's what you think.
Having, even it's kind of like a self lesson for yourself, like patience for you.
Right.
You know, as the owner, which
Right.
is something that I dealt with when I was training my puppy, because I got frustrated a lot.
Right.
Because she's a puppy, she's got crazy energy, she can't think. You know, she got puppy brain.
Right. Right.
And it's definitely rewarding. You know, once you cross that line, or even they start to show the first step of understanding.
Right.
So.
Right. 100%. 100%. And I would say if you're a dog owner, maybe you're frustrated with your dog. Maybe you're just starting out with your dog. We have a YouTube channel, Canine Revolution Dog Training. You can probably get some tips and tricks off of that. But I would say, hey, we got an eye contact drill video on there. Go check that out. We've got engagement videos. Go check those out. That's where you need to start with your dog. Master that, and the rest of your training becomes easy and fun. And me personally, I like a little bit of a hybrid approach. So not to get too technical here, but in dog training, you got basically 2 ways you can start training. Number 1, we call this shaping, the creation of behavior. So you can help your dog create behavior through physical manipulation, which could be luring them with food, having some food in your hand. Your dog follows the food to where you want them to be. You can use a leash to help you. You know, you can use barriers and things like physical things to help you achieve the desired behavior. Then you have what's known as free shaping, where your dog is making decisions on their own and you are rewarding or reinforcing the things that you want. So free shaping, I have a dog in my house, for example, and I want it to do certain things. Let's say it starts doing those things on its own. I'll reward those, right?
Yeah.
It's doing them on their own. The dog's figuring it out on their own. It's better if we can have the dog figure it out on their own. It creates a better neuro pathway in their brain. So eye contact, for example, I like good eye contact.
Yeah.
I take my dog out in the yard, and my dog makes the decision on their own to look at me. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I'm just chilling. They make the decision on their own to look at me. I reward that. That was free shaped. Now the neuro pathway in the dog's brain became stronger. They know, hey, I did this. This happened. Versus I go out in my yard, I start begging my dog, you know, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, whatever.
Yeah.
My dog looks at me, I reward him. Sure, that behavior will increase over time, but the neural pathway is weaker versus the free shaped dog.
Yeah.
So I like a hybrid approach, right? I'm going to have to shape some things with some physical tools, some physical manipulation, whether that's food in my hand that I'm luring my dog around, or a leash or something else. But also I like free shaping my dog. They make decisions. They do things on their own. I just reward them for doing things that are beneficial to my goals, or our goals together.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can get technical with it.
Yeah.
But also, you listening, check out Pack Talk Podcast episode 96, because we've got our full training start to finish guide, the ultimate dog training guide. You can check that out. Step through the way that we train a dog from start to finish, which will help you on your path to achieve what you want to achieve with your dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Please leave us a comment. Please leave us feedback on what you thought, what your thoughts are on this topic, what you think most dog owners are getting wrong. But before we wrap up here, Canine Revolution Dog Training. We provide professional dog training services. We have locations in South Carolina and Texas, so we can support you no matter where you're at across the country, United States. We also have virtual lessons, so if you're international, we can support you with that. We've got private lessons. We've got board and train. We've got customized lessons, programs, whatever you want. Just contact us. We'll help you out. The phone number is 843-213-2676. The email is info@caninerevolutiondogtraining.com. We also have Canine Revolution apparel. That's on Amazon. And I will say Christmas is coming.
Stocking stuffers.
Right. You got to figure out what you're getting for people for Christmas and what you're getting for yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. You didn't know that? People are like, what do you want for Christmas? You're like, I'll just get it myself.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do for Christmas with your fiance? You guys get each other gifts?
Yeah.
Or you're like,
we don't get it. Well, we kind of tell each other, like, we already know what we're going to get each other.
Why don't you say this? Why don't you say, I'll get what I want for myself. You get what you want for yourself.
How about I say, go to Amazon, type in Canine Revolution Apparel, and get me a fucking guinea shirt.
There you go.
Give me a nice pity shirt. Or give me a beanie since it's cold.
It's getting cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want that winter gear.
Yeah.
Hoodies, beanies, shirts, mugs, cups. There's a bunch of stuff.
Coffee cups are classic.
Yeah.
Great Christmas gift to get, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And they fit in a stocking, too.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have the right stocking.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you want something quick to pick up for someone, Canine Revolution, coffee mug.
Well, you also get the T-shirt. You roll it up.
Oh, yeah.
You put it in the mug.
Double banger.
Now it's the double gift.
Oh, yeah. Throw a Jocko in there.
Hey, we'll get to that. So Canine Revolution Apparel is on Amazon. Check it out. We're also We Feed Raw.
Oh, yeah.
We Feed Raw. That's the optimal diet for your dog, formulated by a PhD animal nutritionist. Right? Formulated specifically for your dog.
Yeah, they're hardcore.
And you will see a difference in your dog. But go to WeFeedRaw.com. Delivered raw food straight to your door. It is a meal plan, but you can cancel it at any time if you're not happy, which you won't be, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I've literally got, story.
Let's hear it.
Took my dog Bane, 10-year-old Doberman. Took him to the cardiologist.
Yeah.
And he's on a full raw diet.
Oh.
Bane 100% raw diet. Because he's getting old, so I upped him from 50% raw. I started him at 25%.
With the mix.
I started him at 25% raw, 75% kibble diet.
Yeah.
And he's destroying that raw. He loves it, right?
Yeah, he goes crazy.
So I upped him 50% raw, 50% kibble. Then I'm like, you know what? This dude's getting old. I need him in optimal health.
Yeah.
100% raw.
Yeah.
So did the cardiologist appointment, took him in there. He doesn't like people touching him.
Yeah.
So I put him on the table and all that, got him situated. They got the whatever you call it, ultrasound machine, and they got all the stuff they hook up to him. So he's got all these wires on him, and the doctor is checking him out. Perfect health. Perfect health.
Oh, yeah?
No freaking problems. And so Doc's like, this is amazing. This is amazing. I'm like, 100% raw diet. 100%.
Yeah.
Good to go, right? Also, Bane, no gray hair.
Oh, shit.
He's 10 years old.
Keeps that coat healthy.
No gray hair. Exactly. So WeFeedRaw.com, discount code Canine Revolution for 25% off your first meal plan, and then you can cancel anytime if you don't like it. But Bane's cardiologist is coming on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
In the new year.
Amped up for that one.
Next up, we've got Canine Super Supplements. So let's say, you're not ready for a raw diet, or you are on a raw diet, but you want to supplement with some additional nutrients. You go to caninesupersupplements.com. Use the discount code Canine Revolution for 15% off. You've got the joint support. You've got the multivitamin. You've got the weight gainer. You got the puppy formula. You could do the quadruple banger combo, all of them.
The 4-pack.
The 4-pack.
Yeah.
Or you could go with select few, whatever you're going to choose. But we have a dog in training whose owners found her on the side of the road.
Oh, shit.
Puppy.
Yeah.
Puppy. Found her on the side of the road. She's skinny. Right? So what'd they do? Overloaded her with food, right?
Got to beef her up.
So she put on a little bit of weight, but she's still skinny.
Yeah.
So it was yesterday or the day before I said, hey, we're adding weight gainer to this dog's food.
Canine Super Supplement.
Right, because not only is it going to help her get up to a healthy weight, it's also going to get her body kicked into gear with higher nutrients.
Oh, yeah.
Because, of course, unfortunately, she's on a kibble diet, so we got to talk to the owners about that.
Yeah.
Get her on the raw.
We're working
but
on it.
Let's add in that weight gainer. Let's get her up to a healthy weight. Let's get her that freaking protein that she needs, those fats that she needs, healthy fats, and go from there.
Yeah.
Right? So implementing immediately.
It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer. So if you got a hard gainer dog, I mean, definitely try that out, because there are hard gainer dogs.
Yeah.
Where they're just like skinny, they're metabolizing fast. Get them on the weight gainer.
Yeah.
Start there. No factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like humans. There's hard gainer humans. What do they need? They need calories. They need good calories.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Nutritious.
So that's what we're doing for the dogs.
Yeah.
CanineSuperSupplements.com. Last up, we got JockoFuel.
Here we go.
JockoFuel.com. Discount code Canine Revolution for 10% off. And one of my favorites on there, the energy drinks, the Goes.
Jocko Go.
Jocko Go. Way better for you than anything else. Anything. I'm not saying any names out there, monster.
Right, of course. What?
Not saying any names, Celsius.
Huh?
These bullshit drinks. You want to get you a Jocko Go, and you'll be good to go.
Oh, there's another one, Alani. You heard of that one?
No.
I think it might be part of Celsius. But
Lame.
it's like a lot of girls get it, Alani.
Really? It's like a feminine.
No, it's just, I
drink?
mean, they got like tropical flavors. So I just see a lot of
So
girls.
why do the girls have
I don't know, because
tropical?
I don't know. I see a lot of girls get it. I don't think I've ever seen a guy with
Is it targeted marketing toward girls?
Maybe. I mean, the cans are like, you got like tropical trees and shit on
Hawaiian?
it. Kind of, sort of, yeah. I have to see if I can find it they're in the gas stations,
Yeah.
but
Not that I care. Not that I care.
Yeah, the ruling here is that's bullshit.
Right.
We're on Jocko.
Right. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Jocko Fuel. They got pre-workout. They've got Milk, which is the protein.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
on
got-
that.
You got the Milk protein powder.
I'm on it.
You got the Milk cookies.
And
And you got the Milk ready to drink, which comes
we're
pre-made.
on that
Yeah,
at the
it's just
facility here. We're on that.
Oh yeah, the facility, we keep it stocked.
It's in the fridge, boys.
Yeah, we keep the chocolate Milk stocked for the team.
Yeah.
We need the team
Yes, it
to
keeps
be
yeah.
on the protein train.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Protein, you need it for muscle.
Just keeping the team charged up.
You need it for performance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they got whatever you need. They got tons of different supplements. So start converting from your suboptimal supplements to the Jocko Fuel supplements.
Jocko nighttime.
Yeah, they got the Good Night, which
Good Night.
if you're having a rough time, like let's say you had a stressful day,
Or you drank too many goes.
you can reverse the effects by taking the Good Night.
Yeah.
But also they've got the fish oil. One thing a lot of people overlook is the healthy fats that they're getting in their diet every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you can help boost your healthy fats? You get the fish oil.
Mm-hmm.
You take that.
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin D, also an easy thing to overlook.
Yeah.
But you can, I think the Jocko Fuel Vitamin D, it's like less than $20 for 365 days worth
A year.
of vitamin D. That's a year's worth.
Yeah.
Then you got the Cold War,
Uh-huh.
which
I
there
got
are
that.
viruses going around.
COVID.
So you want to have
Bullshit.
the Cold War
Mhm.
on hand, ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that's Jocko Fuel. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. Don't forget YouTube, Canine Revolution Dog Training on YouTube, Pack Talk Podcast on YouTube if you want to watch the video versions of the podcast. I was browsing through the YouTube the other day and I realized there's a freaking ton of comments that I haven't seen yet
On what?
on YouTube,
On which channel?
on the Canine Revolution.
Yeah.
So I started trying to get back to these people commenting back.
Yeah.
Someone was a new subscriber from like Europe, somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
They're talking about the guineas in one of the videos. They're talking about I think they have a Malinois, so they were asking a question about that. So I was trying to reply on the YouTube. So we keep track of the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Let us know in the YouTube comments what you need, what videos you need, what you need to see. And I think they did ask for a specific video. I have to go back and make sure we have that on our list. But YouTube, dude, check it out.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh yeah.
Consulting, again, if you're a dog owner, if you're a dog trainer, if you're a business owner, you need to bounce some ideas off of somebody, let us know. We'll do some consulting with you, help you get where you need to go. And it's part of a team that helps you achieve your goals, right? So we'd be honored to be part of your team. So anyway, check it out. We thank you guys for your support. Thank you for listening. We're getting close to the holidays, so make sure as we get close to these holidays, your routines are going to change. You know, you're going to have people visiting. Maybe you're going out of town. Your dog will adapt, right? So whatever routine you're on with your dog, it's okay to adapt and change up your routine, but try to keep your big hitters consistent, right? They don't have to be the same time every day, but try to keep them consistent. You're eating, you're feeding your dog. Obviously, we feed raw. Obviously, Canine Super Supplements, right?
Yeah, obviously.
But your walks, you want to keep your walks consistent. Obviously, you want to keep yourself consistent. Mulk.
Mm-hmm.
Jocko, go.
Yeah.
Let's say you got to drive to Thanksgiving dinner. You know, some people out there, they're like, oh, yay, everybody, I get to see everybody. Other people are like, oh, my God, I don't like social interaction. If you're one of those people that doesn't like, necessarily social interaction, take a go. Drink it on
that'll
the
turn
way.
you into a social person.
That'll get you through the interactions.
Or I've heard some people do multiple Thanksgiving events
In one day?
Dinners. Yeah, like they'll go
In one day?
Yeah, they'll go to
No.
their girlfriend or boyfriend's family dinner, then they'll go to their family dinner, kind of like Christmas, or maybe it's Christmas. And in between, you're feeling heavy.
Go.
You load it up on mac and cheese. You got to go to the next house and get more mac.
Yeah.
And you might as well pop a go in between, so you're recharged.
Also, they got the Jocko Brain Power, which is like nootropics in capsules, so you can take them.
Yeah.
So let's say you don't have that much time between your stops, you can pop some brain power.
Oh yeah.
To help your brain function for that next round of mac, that heavy mac and cheese, dude.
Oh shit, I'm getting hungry right now. Shit.
So we got holidays coming up, so be ready for that. Adapt, adjust, get what you need done. Get the JockoFuel to help you get there. Don't forget, adjust your routine. Your dog will adapt. Your dog will adjust. Holidays are a great time of year, too.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, thank you guys for listening. And until next time, this is Pack Talk Podcast.